US President Joe Biden has invited the Indian Prime Minister for an official state visit and a lavish dinner at the White House. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to embark on one of his most crucial diplomatic visits this year, we take a look at his power-packed marathon schedule in the US from June 21st to 24th. The Indian Prime Minister is scheduled to land at the Andrews Air Force Base on the 20th of June and head to New York. On June 21st, the Indian Prime Minister will lead an International Yoga Day event at the United Nations Secretariat in New York City. At this event, he will be joined by several top Indian Americans at the UN complex. The Prime Minister will then fly to Washington for an official welcome at the South Lawn of the White House. The US President has organized a grand welcome ceremony with 21 gun salute and 7,000 Indian American attendees. Later, the two leaders will then head in for a bilateral meeting which is expected to focus on defense deals, partnerships in technology, and discussions on climate change. The bilateral meeting will then be followed by delegation-level talks and a joint press conference. Later that day, the Indian Prime Minister will address the US Congress joint session with all the American lawmakers and representatives in the audience. This is Prime Minister Modi's second address, which makes him the first Indian leader ever to do so. He first addressed the US Congress in June 2016. The day will conclude with the much anticipated state dinner hosted by the President and the First Lady at the White House. The White House State Dinner is a meticulously planned event which is often planned months in advance. The menu typically features the culinary traditions of the guest of honor, but with an American twist.
Mr. Prime Minister, welcome again, and the floor is yours.
On the 23rd of June, the US State Department will host a luncheon for the Indian leader and his team. He will be joined by Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Post-lunch, the Prime Minister will also address an event organized by the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum in Washington, D.C. America's top CEOs and business leaders will also be in attendance. Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will head for a mega event at the Ronald Reagan Center to address the Indian diaspora. After wrapping up his US tour, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to fly off to Cairo for another official state visit at the invitation of the Egyptian president.